by RAGHVENDRA Syndicate, and he's with Impetus in Delhi, and they have an office here in Silicon Valley as well. So he's come over to visit us, and he told me he wants to talk about multi-cloud. So we're going to let him start on that, and we'll see where it goes. Thanks for joining us. What are you going to tell us about multi-cloud?
Yeah, thanks for inviting me for this conversation, right? First of all, right? So I have a speaking session here, and I'm going to talk about multi-cloud, right? So especially multi-cloud migration, and which is provisioning as a service, right? So if you see the way cloud is going, right? So for enterprises, the cloud is no more a choice, right? Which everybody knows. And the reason, which personally I think so, there are broadly three reasons for that, right? Which is agility, right? And affordability and elasticity. These are the three things which cloud brings in for any enterprises. And to sustain into this much of a dynamic environment, it's more of a compulsory for them, right, as I said. So if we talk about 2000, year of 2000, so Fortune 500 companies, almost 50% are gone, right, or even more than 50% are gone, right? So as I said, like this agility, affordability, and elasticity is necessary for enterprises to sustain into this market. And they same time they don't want to lock themselves into a single vendor, right? So it has to be a multi-cloud and multi-vendor. So that is all I'm going to talk about tomorrow, and in my session. And this multi-cloud is not only about the technology, which is my perspective, right? It is also brings people and process in place, right? So I'm going to talk about the combination of these three, people, process, and platform, right? And combining them as a enterprise transformation to a cloud, right? So that is all is going to be.
Yeah, there's like a cultural shift. I mean, if you're going to migrate to the cloud, and there's various states of migration, a lot of people do find out they need to take a multi-cloud approach, and there's endless variety of that. But you need the cultural shift. You need the people and the processes.
That's true. That's true. That is the reason I said like there are three portions. It's not only about the technology, right? It's about the culture shift for the people. It's about the process adaptability, how the process can be adopted, right? And the proper integration of all these three to have the desired transformation in place, right? And so this is technology plus people and plus process all together, putting together in place. Yeah.
Well, you mentioned elasticity, and so elasticity, is sort of like go up, but go back down, and it ties in with affordability. In the theory, the hypothesis is that with elasticity, your capacity planning problems are gone. You don't have to over capacitize anymore, but it's actually very managing elasticity, I think, is a complex challenge. Would you agree with that, or are you working on ways to manage elasticity better?
Yeah, so it's definitely a complex job, right? Managing elasticity. So, but where the technology comes into a place, right? So we have a serverless kind of environment, right? Either it's AWS or different cloud. They support serverless environment where we can implement that thing and pay per use, right? But I think so from my perspective, getting these three is kind of giving a foundation. Now the actual solution that enterprises need to build in out of this thing, having three things in a place, right? If I talk about, let's take an example of a Google Map, right, which is again a good example of a technology how they bring in, right? But ultimately, how it is going to solve the real problem, that is actually the key is. And solving that a problem with such kind of a agile environment that we have, dynamic environment that we have. So these are the foundational three pillars which enterprises need, and out of that then they can come up with the actual solution, right, which help them to sustain in this dynamic environment.
Did you mention DevOps before? Because it seems like if you're going to this new culture and the processes, that you need to develop a DevOps culture, which by nature is agile and moves quickly. Okay, got it. But also, people need to plan a little longer term too. How do you teach that? In your session and in your work, how do you teach that? How to move quickly and agile, but still plan?
Yeah, yeah. So that's also a good question, right? So here, from my perspective, this planning is also now long term. Here, I'm considering as a 3 years at most, not beyond that, right? Because if you see the technology, last 5 years, the way technology, the rapid technology has been changed, right? Uh, the if we compare the previous 10 years, it's a much more exponential there, right? And similarly, same is expected in next 5 years, right? So planning for 5 years or 10 years, I think so would not work now. I think so. The at max we can plan for it 3 years, and then there has to be again reassessment, replanning, right, as per the market conditions. That I think so.
It sounds like a good time frame. I'm thinking if I fell asleep 5 years ago, and I woke up today, I would miss rise of containers, fall of containers, rise of Kubernetes, and serverless. All that in the last 5 years.
Yeah.
I would miss all that. I would have no idea. So you've settled the 3 year uh, thinking in the future that way is the way to do it. But yet, tell me again, like when you're dealing with the people and the processes, how do you teach that? How do you get them to understand that without that change, there's no real benefits to the cloud?
Yeah. So for that, there is a total detailed migration model that I have referred into, right? And which has a list of assessment, right, where it has to be what all things are there and why this cultural shift is needed, why the people are needed, what the process is needed, right? So putting those examples into the places, right, and educating the people for that, providing them the training sessions and everything is going to be a compulsory part of it, right? So important thing is a realization of those things, right? And putting those training and session into the place for the people and basically process to merge with the technology and then come up with the final transformation, right?
So if you were here at the show watching this, the session is going to be on Tuesday. If you're watching the recording, you're going to want to find him and find out about his session, everything he does. It's impetus.co.in. What's the website?
Impetus.com.
I was looking at it, maybe an email address. It's just impetus.com. That's good. You got it. Impetus.com. RAGHVENDRA, thank you for joining us. Thank you for watching.
Thank you.
For Cloud Expo TV, this is Roger Struckoff. We're done.
Thank you.
How did you get impetus.com? That's good.
Yeah, it's Impetus.com. A 25 years old company, right? So
I guess that's why. So you're really evolving, and but you're evolving. This is. I can't. I'm going to be here all day tomorrow, so I can't attend your session. But good luck with it. It's very good to have you here. Thank you so much. And now I have in my watch 6:45. So our 6:30 person won't be here.
It's actually coming up in the men's room now. Is our 6:40 person?
Our 6:40 person will be here. Okay.
Yeah, he'll be here. And then I have his badge, so he can't go anywhere. He's actually right here.
And then a 6:50 person will be here at some point. Maybe.
I don't.
6:50?
Excuse me. When they're here, I'll tell you.
I got it. Okay.
I don't go beyond what he
And our
said.
7 o'clock person is been interviewed.
We pushed this guy back and we shouldn't have. He was on time.
Okay. Hi. I'm Roger.
I'm Brian Long.
Good. Okay.
Okay. We don't have a camera.
Well, the cameraman's coming back. It's Long, you say?
Glon.
Oh, Glon. G-L-O-N?
It's Glahn.
Glon. Got it.
But you're sounding it.
Glon,
right.
yeah.
Glon.
Yeah. I have a.
Yep.
My name's Struckoff. I know how to pronounce his names. Brian Glon. What's the company though? They didn't tell me that.
Atlantic's Global Systems.
Yeah. Okay.
Atlantic's Global.
Atlantic's Global. What should we talk about? What do you think?
So the reason we're here is for cloud migration, data security services.
Okay.
So biggest thing we see is companies are proactive with cybersecurity, very reactive with data security that resides on the devices.
Yeah.
And
What
so
could
that-
possibly go wrong?
Yeah, what? We stopped them already.
Yes. Okay. This is a huge topic, and
Yes, it
people
is.
I'm going to tell them, listen. Just please listen to the guy, because if you don't, There's an old commercial. You can call me today or call me tomorrow. It was about an oil
It's better.
filter.
It's cheaper to call me today.
Yeah, the oil filter's $4. This is 30 years ago.
Much
If you don't call me, the engine's